It's exactly as the title says. My brother has a doppelganger. Oh, freaking the fuck out right now. My brother's doppelganger has always been in our lives, ever since we were little kids. Sometimes we'd see him enter a room he hadn't been in. Or he'd enter me and my sister's room and just stand there and watch us while my brother walked behind him in the hallway. There was a time when we were young enough that I don't remember this, but my mother told this story more than once. We were staying at a hotel and went to sleep. She was awakened from my shaking her. She rolled over and asked me what was wrong. "Mama, the other is here." She looked at the edge of their bed, and there he was, just watching us, looking straight into her eyes. My mom looked over to the other bed in the room where my siblings slept, and there he was. My brother was sleeping peacefully. She put the covers over me and told me to go back to sleep. The other brother looked at my big brother and walked away and out the door, closing it behind him. My brother's doppelganger was just something my family got used to. He never said anything, he never hurt us. He would simply observe. That is, until recently. I was home alone as my family were in the city for my mother's doctor's appointments. It would be back until the next day. My sister is an adult and doesn't live with us anymore. My brother had gone with my parents. It was getting late, so I decided to get off the Xbox and go to sleep. I went to my room and laid down with my phone to watch some YouTube before bed. Every once in a while, I'd hear a noise from outside my room, but I'd brush it off as my cat being an idiot as per usual. But then, I heard a tap on the door. I got up thinking I was just gonna let my cat in so he could cuddle. Though, when I opened the door, I quickly slammed it back shut and locked it. There he was, my brother's doppelganger. I know I said that it was something we had all gotten used to, but I've never had to deal with him in my own. Besides, he's never knocked on my door or anything. He usually just never touched a thing when he's appeared. I grabbed my phone and texted my sister freaking out and asking what I should do. Her only advice was to wait for him to leave. That fucking bitch couldn't have comforted me or told me to do anything else. Just wait. I was now sitting in the corner of my room furthest from the door. Then, I heard a voice. My brother's voice. But it wasn't him. It sounded like my brother, but it wasn't right. It was too robotic. Besides, I knew it wasn't him. My big brother was over 2 hours away in a different city. The doppelganger knocked on the door again and said something along the lines of, "Carrie, open the door. I want to ask you something." He spoke in a slow and too proper manner to sound like my brother. He knocked again, this time more aggressive. "Carrie, open the door. I need to talk to you." He tried the doorknob and banged on the door when he couldn't turn it. "Carrie, please talk to me." I screamed back, "Fuck off. You're not my brother." I was met with silence. My heart raced, and I gripped my phone tightly as I called my father. The phone rang, and it rang, and it rang. No answer. I called again, no answer. I called my mother, and again she didn't pick up. I tried to call her again, but it was my brother who picked up her phone. "The hell do you want? It's 2 a.m. Why aren't you sleeping?" He sounded groggy and frustrated. The sound of his voice was calming. It was nice to be reminded of what he sounds like compared to the thing outside my bedroom. "Steve, he's here. Your doppelganger. He's outside my room and he's speaking." My voice was quivered and was quiet. I heard rustling on the other end of the line. His voice was now a bit more alert, though still hushed. "What do you mean he's speaking? He doesn't talk. He's never spoken." He paused. Is he in the room with you? After he said that, the door rattled again. Carrie, let me in. I whimpered and a tear rolled down my face. No, but he's begging to be let in. He keeps telling me to let him inside. I told him to be quiet and approached the door and let my brother listen. Let me in. Please just let me in. I need to see you. He banged on the door aggressively again. Open the door. He shouted at me now. I backed away and grabbed my pocket knife from my desk before Ren turning to the corner. Terry, listen. I'm going to text one of my friends and have him come over. Just stay where you are and stay quiet. Before I could get another word in, he hung up. I was left alone again. I curled into a ball on my bed and cried silently. A few minutes later, I got a text. You should be there in around 20 minutes. Are you all right? I'm fine. Please tell him to hurry. Okay. As it what felt like hours, the older brother spoke to me for the last time. Did you invite a friend over? You want me to let them in, Carrie? He walked away from the door slowly. I texted my brother to tell him that his friend needed to be careful and that his doppelganger probably went to the door. He replied with a dry, all right. It's been almost an hour since then. I'm sitting in my kitchen typing this, still shaking from the event. My brother's friend is sitting with me, acting like nothing happened, just playing with my cat. I don't think I'm ever going to stay home alone anymore. I don't want to experience this again.